Welcome everybody, we're going to go over a geometry nodes method for attaching a sphere to a flat or cube object. And then you end up with something like this, going to be very nice and clean. And then if I was to just come over here and apply these, and we'll do all of this at the end. Got a couple of node groups we're going to be working with. Once that's all applied, I can come in here and I'm going to clean up these edges to show you how to do that. Very simple methods here, and then we can come in and bevel this and give it a nice bevel, and there you go. You'll have this very clean topology inside and out without any crazy non-manifold or funky shading errors. Let's get started. Alright, got a fresh copy of Blender here, and yeah, my stuff starts out with a cylinder because I did a tutorial on how to do the cleanup, not the cleanup, but the default save startup file. And I'm going to drop in a sphere and put the sphere like right about here. Doesn't really matter because we're going to do a delete geometry and a boolean and match it up. It doesn't even matter. So we can just apply the scale though for the fun of it. I can shade it auto smooth. I'm going to grab a vertical split. Let's go geo. Let's grab the cube and let's throw a mesh boolean and dump that in. Set it to union. Obviously, I have to tag it back in. I'm gonna grab the sphere and I'm gonna tag this in. It always does that. It's so funny. With geometry, and so now we're gonna join these two. I'm gonna use hole tolerant. That's no different than coming over here and throwing in a boolean. Solver options, hole tolerant. If you've got holes, it's gonna behave better. Okay, so that's why we're gonna use that. And this looks pretty good for now. I want to go to the sphere, new geo node group, and we can actually cut that. I'm going to tag in a UV sphere. I'm going to need to be able to transform this and move it around. So let's grab a transform, tag that in, and you can then bring it up because this is the one we need. And let's go back to the cube and select relative. Let's go back to the sphere. And we can hide the sphere now. So now you'll be able to move that in wherever you want it. You can scale that. I always like using the scale elements node, so everybody has their preferences. You can just scale it here as well, whatever you feel like. But I like outputting the float scale, if you will, because it's just one value. It's not gonna like hog up the screen. I can't stand that. So now we can do a set shade smooth if you're still using Blender 4.0.2 and make that look somewhat decent. So now let's go into wireframe and we can see we've got a boolean here pretty much, and everything's kind of clean. So there are a couple other ways to do this, and I'll show you one way and then we'll just kind of be done. This is kind of fun. If you want to use a delete geometry with the boolean, you can do that too. You're going to need to pull out the selection because we want to select what's going to be deleted. And we'll see if it's a greater than or equal to. Not sure at the moment. Let's pull out an index node. That way we can figure out what we want. We're going to delete faces. And then we're going to delete only faces. And now if you kind of bring this in, you can see I can delete the geo here. It's not necessarily important to do this, but it is another way to, kind of achieve it. So that geometry is guaranteed to be gone, right? You can do this. You can just mute that off. You don't even have to use it. We're practically almost done with the tutorial, by the way. This is just going to be done in a second. I'm just making a quick little once over. Make sure to smash that subscribe and smash that like button. And I just apply the modifiers. It's really super simple, guys. And you just come in here now, and I don't like these lines here. Now I can come over to the vert select here. I'm going to grab the knife tool and constrain this to the x-axis because that's where I'm at. Hit enter. Come over here, grab this on edge select, X, dissolve edge. And then I can do the same thing on the other side, or I can use the mirror machine and just bring that over. And it will clean up that topology for me. It does give you mirror lines. If you want, you can actually turn that off, or you can just old school delete it. And it doesn't really work too good for round objects, so that's why I didn't use it there. But it works awesome on hard surface regular. So now all we gotta do is grab our edge, Control B, and bevel it. And if you find that your bevel's kind of overlapping, you can grab the loop cut and double tap G. Shouldn't mess up your shading too much. And we'll grab this one. And now we can offer up a nicer big bevel right there. Make sure to shade it auto smooth. And that's about it. And if you don't have the mirror machine, it's kind of set up to be more powerful than the tool that's standard here. And let's see, it's probably an edit, auto mirror. And if you don't have auto mirror on, my add-on turns it on automatically, but if you go into edit and preferences, you'll see auto mirror is an actual add-on, and it won't pop up until you have it like this. So you'll have to figure out positive, negative on X, Y, and Z, whether you want it to cut and mirror, use clip, editable, apply mirror, jump into edit mode, all kind of things. But my add-on takes care of all that for you. You don't have to do all that, so you can just like swipe and mirror things. And if you were to come in and like grab an edge and just offer a nice little bevel, and you're like, oh, I want that on the other side, you can just bevel that like that, and you're done. Looks good. And there's some shading tools here. There's some mesh and rotation transforms here. There's some very powerful node groups, and there's a little secret one I'm working on right now. It's a boolean operator. I'm in collab with another Python developer, and he's helping me get the add-on to a higher level. There's going to be some very cool bevel operations very soon. Other than that, there is an end panel add-on setup here that's got over 112 preset hard surface models, all reworked in quads. So it'll be very nice for you. You can switch the gallery here. It's pretty cool. It's your own, asset importer. You go in, you just add any folder you want, and these folders become something you can load. And so if you come in and load this into the gallery, you can switch it to collection or objects, depending on whatever you're trying to get in. If I want collections, I can switch this back over to collections, and may or may not have icons for it. But when you do click to add something in, there they are, they're over there. The collections will come in and append pretty fast. It's pretty decent. There's quite a few models to append in that quick. And so it's a pretty solid setup. Now for the sake of mirroring things, there's a pretty powerful mirror operator. There's a alt right click menu. This is your personal context menu. It's kind of in the way there, so I figured I'd show that. You can mirror model, constrain things, and then have certain controls. Apply, delete. You can stack objects here as well and add different objects to it. So conceptually, I could just grab the empty here, grab something like the add a cube, and then I could draw something on here and then mirror model that to the other side. And guess what? It's going to constrain all of that. And if I come here and apply this setup, and so I'm done with that, I can still model this. It's still active. And then I can come in and grab this, and I can apply that. I can toggle it on and off for whatever purpose. I can change all the access points however I need to. And then I can delete that mirror, and it's going to remove the empty if I don't want it. And so there you go. There's a pretty decent little operator setup. You can apply it, delete it, whatever you want to do. And then you're switching galleries here. There's actually a little sub menu. Didn't mention. It's a pretty cool add. And down here, there's an experimental bool thing that's going to be connected. It's not an available version yet. It's going to be connected here. So when you scale objects, the boolean will follow and tag along. And then you've got this, which is the bevel controls. This will be replacing bevel magic. So if you loop through every object in your scene, you can add a bevel and then change all the bevels at the same time, which is going to be pretty cool. And you can toggle that on and off as well. And if you go in here, you'll be able to see that you can change the segments globally, if you will, and then you can change everything. So it's pretty cool. And when you're done with that, you do have a weighted normal here. If you're experiencing any issues, if you will, with your shading. And that's going to be about it, actually. Other than the pie menu, which I'm not going to go over because I've got a full tutorial on that. Appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next one. And yeah, I'll be adding that to the mirror machine. So if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments what kind of beveling needs you have. And I will see you guys in the next one.